Hello there, Mike the MC, bringing another self-care video. The idea of trust. Now, this is an interesting topic I want to talk about today, inspired by my work with other people, but also my work with in different agencies and groups and personal life, and so I'm going to bring that into the discussion. But what am I alluding to with regards to the growth of responsibility with trust? How do I go about this at the start? So to share this with you, how many of you just feel like when you grow, right, you feel like you're taking on more responsibility at work, with other people, your jobs? All of a sudden people are starting to turn to you now and asking you, hey, can you take out the trash? Hey, can you take out the books on that bookshelf? Hey, can you go out there and make sure that door is closed, etc., etc.? And so I think one way I could go about this video is with regards to, is there positive and negative responsibility, right? And how you don't get caught in the crossfire of being blamed by other people. And I think that could be the way to go about this video with where I was thinking in the initial start. And I think a little further, do you feel at times that you are being pushed to accept those other roles that you don't want to accept? And I think we all face that at some point. I could tell you stories plenty where I've had to unload items from vehicles, make delivery trips for jobs, where I've had to drive the extra several miles, go the extra bit of out of my way to make sure that job was done. And I think another thing I looked at with regards to myself and those other jobs is, was I happy in those moments? How are my other circumstances in those situations? The other people. And I think another thing was, I wasn't happy with many of the people at those different situations. And it reflects on how, okay, when you're not trusted by other people, okay, people may just throw the negative responsibility on you to handle these other things, right? And you're like, why do I have to take out the trash? Why do I have to take care of this now? And this or that, okay. And you may have had a toxic boss, but then what about that in the positive sense? The positive way of gaining responsibility, where, all right, you're becoming famous for something that you're becoming really good at. Like, for example, at my work, I'm becoming really good at helping people with the phone, right? Getting phone service. And so with that example, it's like, okay, all of a sudden people know me as the phone guy, the phone guy who can help you fix your phones. It's like, oh, that wasn't really my title, and that's okay. That's all right. I'm not really disappointed with the new role that's being put on my schedule. But the thing is, now that titles are being associated with me, I now have to respond in such a way to where, okay, if I'm called to help a client, I got to be ready to respond. Likewise, for those of you who have to travel abroad or work with a job that tells you, hey, I need you to get out of bed right now. It's 2 a.m. There's an emergency now happening at this facility. We need you to get out of bed right now. Get over here, pronto, right? And you're like, oh my gosh, really? Right now, out of all times? I just came out of a party. I was just about to fall asleep, or I was just coming out of the bathroom, and now I get this phone call? Right. And so this also connects to the technology and communication piece. And going about that a little bit, I'll say, when you are really setting a boundary with people, with the times you're ready to work, I would argue you have to be ready to be affirmative to where, okay, I'm only good for these certain amount of hours, and maybe at this time I'm busy doing this, otherwise you're going to start running me over, and I won't be good to anybody eventually anymore. And I just won't be able to help my clients, or even talking with the clients like, hey, I'm working with someone already right now. What makes you think you could just jump in, knock on the door and ask for help right now? Yeah, maybe if I'm that kind and generous with an answer right now, remembering who you are, maybe I can respond on the spot. But if I'm not ready to respond on the spot, and if you are just now getting in the way of my workday helping these other people, these other clients, okay, then I'm going to have to set you to the side and be like, hey, just wait your turn, man. Wait your turn, ma'am. I mean, I just got to get to these other clients right now in the moment because it's just been a heavy workday, right? Everyone's kind of just freaking out. And the thing is, that's just how life goes in each moment of the day when you're in the flow of a workday. And I think with regard to responsibility, right, are you ready to take on those extra roles? And thinking about the next step of this video I want to share with you, where going to the next levels of responsibility. So where, okay, you're no longer the janitor, you're now the president of your company, right? See, what kind of a jump is that, going from one level to the next. But when you jump levels, when you are looking at your responsibilities at each different level, right? Which ones are you happier with, or maybe not so happy to take on? And then you think, okay, because I worked on these extra set of skills, now people know me as by a different title. I'm the phone guy, I'm the guy that comes early, etc., right? All that builds into your resume, your own background, your own story. And so when people start to trust you, the person in the story, right, you're going to get more jobs to tackle, more opportunities, more advantages possibly than other people, because you have more resources. You can now communicate with other businesses. You can now communicate with important people, have all these extra communications in your work phone, etc. But if you are trapped now in the higher levels and you realize you can't go back unless you were just to dramatically just resign or whatever way you want to get out of your job, you recognize, okay, I am now in this level because people, they trust me, they rely on me, and I have to uphold that value with respect to who the people are working with me and underneath me and those who are still above. But when you recognize that you're climbing high enough on the ladder to where the people that are above you, that maybe now they're getting smaller and smaller because you recognize you're starting to rise to the very top, you recognize, oh boy, all right, who can I blame now but myself? Right? And part of this, now that I think about this in the middle of the video, the inspiration, it came from the idea that, okay, if I'm working with this client in the moment, this was the other day, and I was helping this other person, I was handling like 3 different clients at the same time, and I'm thinking, all right, God, Creator, how are you able to master and work with multiple people in different directions, concentration at the same time? How are you able to do that? But that just proves that you are the Creator, because you are able to divide your concentration so evenly, so fairly, where you're able to help everybody at the same time. And I think, okay, that is a major difference between me and the Creator, but with all of us, right? If you have the ability to work with several people at once, okay, that's a skill, but what's your limit, right? What's your limit of responsibility of how many people you can work with regard to your concentration? And so concentration does connect back with the idea of responsibility and trust, because if you have a wide concentration of helping other people with various things, you recognize, okay, I can now tackle these important projects at the same time while helping the smaller task that someone is asking help with. And I recognize now that I'm becoming the trusted person at the agency, the business. Now, even my coworkers, even my employees, even everyone who's even above me, they want to come talking to me where I'm in that advisor role, because I've just put that time in to really work in that position of helping people with regard to that job so long that I have these personal notes on how to tackle the project, how to help somebody on a given notice. I recognize, hey, you don't have to buy a whole new phone with a SIM card. Why not just get your old SIM card, put it in the new phone, right? And you recognize, okay, you can help people. You can save the trouble with certain projects because you've worked on them for so long. And that is where now you're starting to make the money, the reputation really work for you and the advantage, because you recognize, hey, you don't have to buy a whole new building, et cetera, to get the job done. You recognize the problem was just a quick fix, just a few seconds, and you're able to get everything back online. See, when you're able to have that quick fix and it comes back to a good review for you, people are saying, wow, okay, that person, that guy, Mike the MC, he gave a good review the other day. He really was talking about community counseling, religion, and I really liked his video because he talked about something that he brought up that was so cool that I thought I'd share with you all. And that's the thing, when it's a referral, a word of mouth where people are sharing good things about you to other people, and you're like, wow, this is so cool. I'm glad I ran into this person. Let me share your contact with other people, because you might be able to help others that I know that you can help me as well in the process. And so this idea of helping others, I think, is the bottom line, regardless of the responsibility and the trust that's thrown upon you, because when you're able to help, you're able to adjust your time and ability to account for different people at different times. And that just shows your skill, that your endurance, your capability, your endurance, stamina to really handle different projects at the same time while taking on a lot of stress. And that's the thing. If you can handle so much stress and be effective at the same time, right, you're becoming number one. You're becoming reliable. You're becoming the one that, like I was alluding to earlier, the one that people come to for advice, the one that people want to talk to. You recognize now, okay, I have a skill. I have an ability to talk about anything with anyone on any project because I can really connect one solution with another, knowing how the whole system works. And when you recognize how a system works, it reflects your responsibility as a person to the rest of the people in your community, and how you're able to share and connect different projects with other people with different things. And that is a cool realization when you recognize, wow, I really am making a difference in the community. This is awesome. Let's keep this up. Let's keep this up because I'm liking how I'm helping other people. But I must now take care of not to take on negative responsibility as well in the community, where now maybe different agencies want to come to me and say, hey, we've heard you've done good things. Would you be willing to fund several items for our party or for our next assignment project for our company? Would you be willing to go out of your way to help us? See, now are you willing to give other companies, other people, not just your time, but your resources, your good name, right? Putting that on the line. See, how good are you to refer your own self and abilities to other people to where you're putting yourself on the line? See, are you brave or at this moment, or are you ready to let go of that bit of responsibility and you're not just there yet? See, that may be worth another video for another time, but with regard to trusting in yourself and your ability, trusting that your name carries some weight to be the influence to help other people. Right. The idea of trust comes back into play. And when people trust you and you trust yourself, you can make that difference because you recognize that your name carries some weight. Your business, the legacy, carries some bit of advantage that other companies, other people do not have, because you are putting in the time to help other people, and now the community is behind your back, and that is true influence and power at its best, where you are now being able to help and bring solutions and resources to people who are in need. Things to consider. All right, everyone, I hope this video finds you well today. Go out there, conquer the world. I'm going to try my best to conquer the world today also. And always remember that with trust, you can have the positive or the negative way of looking at it. And consider with your own time, reflect, okay, are you doing things that you're really happy to do or not so happy, but recognizing they are progressive towards your personal skills and your goals, recognizing that you could do this because of that, right? So take the time to look at your life, your responsibility, and to see how you're doing. And if you're not moving in the right direction, consider changing careers or whatever, different cities, businesses, etc., in order to get yourself back on track, or changing up the projects that you're working on to make yourself more effective. Always reflect and recognize how that trust is being used. All right, everyone. I hope this video serves you well. All right. Take care. Have a good one.